Simcha, celebration, Simcha, Simcha, celebration of life.
Hello, welcome to Simcha, a celebration of life. I'm Nikki Wallman. Ralphy Jhirad is a member of the Jewish community and business fraternity in Mumbai, India. He is also Vice President of the Federation of Indo-Israel Chambers of Commerce, which encourages two-way trade between the countries, and was recently a guest speaker at the South African Jewish Board of Deputies National Conference in Johannesburg.
In India, currently there are three Jewish communities. First is the Ben Israel community that of course came from Canaan during the 175 BC with the very well-known shipwreck which brought the community to India. And then of course is the Baghdadi Jewish community which came from Baghdad, where they fled the Baghdad rule of Dawood Pasha and came in the early 19th century. They came of course initially to Surat and then came to Bombay. The third community is the Cochin community. They of course came from two different arrivals. First was the 25th BCE and the second was during the Spanish expulsion, and they have settled in Cochin. Of course now very small number of them live in that part of the world. Total of all these three is 4,800 plus 200 of the Baghdadi and the Cochini. So Ben Israels are 4,800 and the remaining 200 are the Baghdadi and Cochini. So the proportionately Ben Israel community is the largest. In the years just prior to the independence of India and prior to the independence of the State of Israel, during 47, the population of Indian Jews of all three communities was 35,000. 33,000 Indian Jews immigrated and made aliyah to Israel over the last 64 years, and remaining have gone to the diaspora, to Australia, to Canada, to USA, and I know some of them live even in South Africa. To live as an Indian Jew in India is a very privileged, and I would say it's an honor, because you have in that country very, very high level of tolerance. There is no persecution. There is pro-Israel atmosphere. Even though the full diplomatic ties were established during 1992, you know that Israel and India does tremendous amount of trade, and that is very, very significant from the relationship that they have. They are very well integrated. The Jews of Indian origin are well integrated in Indian society. They have, in fact, accepted the languages in the regional form. So, for example, I live in Maharashtra and I speak Marathi in the same accent as somebody local speaks. So, Jews of Cochin speak Malayalam the way the local people speak, and the Jews of Gujarat speak Gujarati. So that is the beauty. And of course, the dress and their costume is very similar to the local community, and some of the food habits have also been very similar to the local community, even though they keep kosher. The Jews in India are very traditional, and that helps to keep the intermarriage percentage very low, in single digit, because the community still has the tradition of doing what is called as an arranged marriage. So there are very few love marriages in terms of the percentage, and outside the community marriages are certainly much, much less. There is a lot of marriages which have taken place between the Baghdadi Jews and the Ben Israel Jews, more in the recent times, particularly when the Baghdadi Jewish community population has dwindled and Ben Israel community members are going into the shuls which were originally exclusively for the Baghdadi Jews.
If someone were to rank the most embattled Jewish communities in the world, the Venezuelan community would certainly appear high on that list, having shrunk by half its size over the past decade. Sammy Eppel, who lives in Maracaibo, Venezuela, was recently in South Africa. As a member of the governing body of the Jewish community of Venezuela, he shared his thoughts on the challenges that they face.
The Venezuelan community is a very interesting community. It's a very integrated community. It's about half and half Sephardi and Ashkenazi, and there's no division between the two communities. I mean, we go to the same school, we go to the same club. I mean, the intermarriage is complete, you know. So it's a really wonderful community that receive people from many parts of the world, and now it's only one. Instead of being 2 or 3 communities, it's only one community. Unfortunately, due to the circumstances of the country, we have come down from 30,000 people to around 9,000 right now, less than 10,000. So it's a very sad situation. So when we were a numerous community, we built these heavy institutions, big synagogues and clubs and schools and a hospital and cemeteries and old people's homes. And right now, with the diminishing community, we are below critical mass in order to sustain the community. So we are a community in danger. Oh, we have all the infrastructure. I mean, we have different synagogues. We have about 16 synagogues in the city of Caracas, and of course we have all the institutions, the Hebra Kadisha, the people who visit the sick, the social network. I mean, we have all that, and we have of course the school. We have our school, which is also a sad story because it was built as a school for over 3,000 pupils, and at one time we had 2,400. Right now we have 950. So that's a sad situation. The situation in Venezuela is such a strange one because we have what I have called since 2006, I said that for the first time in recent history, we have government-sponsored anti-Semitism in a Western country. And they said, well, that can't happen. We finished with that. I said no, and I proved to them that it is. And that is one of the big problems that we face over there. See, on top of the regular problems of the country, of the changing of the government to almost a communist kind of state, where private property is not respected, with judicial system doesn't work, etc., etc. The security situation is bad. On top of that, we have anti-Semitism coming from the government. So obviously it has to affect the community, and that is one of the reasons that the community has been leaving, particularly the young ones. Listen, the future for our community is very much in doubt, very much in doubt. I am sure that there will always be Jews in Venezuela, but we don't know how many and in what conditions they're going to be able to live. So it's a situation that it's very hard to stomach after you live. I was born there. I mean, we're third-generation Venezuelans. You know, it's not that we just got there, you know, and it's easy for us to leave. It's not easy. I mean, I don't want to leave. I live there.
Simcha, celebration of life. Simcha, celebration of life.
The faith communities of the world have joined together to present a united front at the COP17 Environmental Conference in Durban. They feel they have a moral obligation to ask the negotiators to put aside their own country's interests, even though it may cost them in economic terms, to come up with a sustainable solution for the whole world. Paddy Meskin is a veteran activist and member of the South African Faith Communities Environment Institute and has been instrumental in raising awareness change with non-Jewish communities.
Some of our main focus activity, addressing poverty, addressing food security, making sure that no community should go hungry. And because we've got the whole COP17 project of 1 million trees to plant before COP17, we're trying to get indigenous trees into all the community schools around there. So we're asking the whole Jewish community, not only here, but globally, we're asking them to plant 3 trees. 1 in their home or their synagogue, or both if they can. 1 to one of the marginalized communities, and 1 for Israel. We've actually got a slot in the main RCC set where the faith-based organizations are going to participate, and where we have an hour and a half for the faith-based communities to come together, including the Jewish community, to put together. JNF is going to be doing a whole program on some of the great research that they're doing in terms of water, in terms of planting. And for South Africa, this is of such importance. We all know that the optimists say we've got 14 years of water. The realists say 10 if we're lucky. So if we don't start doing something, what will our legacy be for the children and our grandchildren? And the final thing that we're asking everybody, and I really appeal to our Jewish community particularly, we're asking every community throughout the world. On the 4th of December, we are having a prayer day. And I'm busy interacting with more than 100 countries, that each country will have special prayers, will have special programs on that day. It's right in the middle, just before the whole Kyoto Declaration is going to be discussed. Negotiations will have been taking place, and we are going to pray that the leaders of the world, in fact, will sign the declaration. If they don't, then the only one that can help us is Hashem.
Well, that's the show for today. Thank you so much for being with us. And remember to find us on Facebook at Spirit Sister Productions Network. As always, from me, Nikki, and the team, shalom and have a safe and peaceful week.